down now. Break it down now.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Inside Line, brought to you by Mount Shop. And we come from the garage again. People have been asking me, whose garage is it? It's the garage of Graham Standring, Mr. 100, Mr. Speedway, and it's a lovely little garage. Anywho, Geordie Peters is in the house once again from Motorsport New Zealand. How was your Easter, Geordie?
It was very good. I played a bit of golf. Not a lot of motorsport, unfortunately, but very good. How was yours?
Yeah, not bad. Quiet. Did a little bit of radio. What are you hitting off, by the way?
Oh, we don't want to talk about it. Not very good.
Yeah, no, in other words, you're hitting off plenty, just like me. Okay, it was a quiet weekend, although last week, congratulations to Hamilton racer Taylor Mitchell, who picked up the 2026 CareVet Scholarship. He gets a full drive in the Toyota 86 Trophy Series, which starts on the 16th of May at Hampton Downs. So that's a really cool little full drive, and that's in the older series cars, so there's a lot to look forward to. Hey, mate, I noticed in Rotorua it was really busy in the karting world.
It was indeed at the KartSport New Zealand Sprint Championships. Everyone fighting for those New Zealand titles, and quite a few familiar names in there. At 8 champions crowns. So let's go through them all one by one. Vortex Mini Rock, Nico Thomason, Rotax Max Jr., Tommy Hart, and here's a name that you will all be familiar with, Rotax Max Light, Marco Manson, just crowned the New Zealand Formula Ford champion last week. Weekend just gone, he goes and becomes a karting champion again. KZ2, we had Blake Corrin, Rotax Max Heavy, Ryan Urban, he's an absolute veteran of the karting scene. Vortex Rock DVS Jr., Tommy Hart again. Another familiar name for motorsport people, DD2 champ, Josh Bethune. So he is obviously heading into 86s this weekend in Taupo. And then the Cadet Rock champion was Teddy Patterson. So always a very well patroned event, the KartSport Sprint Champs, and 8 very deserving champions there.
Marco Manson, another championship. I said last week, and I think we all agree, keep your eye on Marco. Okay, massive weekend in motorsport. We've got Rally Otago, the opening round of the National Rally Championship. But first of all, now this is taking top of mind, everybody, the first of the doubleheader, the first doubleheader in Repco Supercars in New Zealand. We go to Taupo International Motorsport Park, and it's the final round of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. I'm really looking forward to this, going down there for the awards ceremony. Pretty excited about the finish because there's only 72 points between first and third. Chris White Jr. and third is Hugo Allen, the defending champion. So it's going to be an absolute cracker. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, three-way title fight going to the last round is exactly what you want. And what better place to do it than pretty much literally on the world stage in our own backyard at Taupo, but with supercars. So that will be the career pathway or trajectory that a lot of those 86 drivers are on. And to then have that title fight in front of supercars teams, what a better way to do it. TV package, all the rest of it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, in the showroom. That's what they're doing. Alrighty, there's a monster weekend as well going around locally. We'll talk about Rally Otago last. What's happening also elsewhere?
Yeah, so we've got the Auckland Car Club. We've got round 6 of their Bob White Memorial Motorcana Series. We've got the Ruakaka Street Sprint happening at Northland Car Club, and the Kahanau Road Bent Sprint Levin Car Club, having that in central North Island. And then the Stevens Tricky Trial being run by the Minis of Waikato Club. And then, of course, Rally Otago, the big one. So we're pretty blessed to have 2 major motorsport events on the same weekend in each island, one on gravel, one on tarmac. But Rally Otago, there's going to be 16 special stages around Lawrence, Waihola, and of course they're going to be going to the world famous Curry Bush stage, 285 kilometres of special stages in total, which is very impressive. 45 NZRC competitors. This is, of course, the first round of the New Zealand Rally Championship. And there's going to be no previous Gold Star champions starting in the championship. So we're going to guarantee a new champion this year, which is pretty exciting. Almost a bit of a changing of the guard, if you will, in the New Zealand Rally Championship. And if any of the top 3 seeds can win the title this year, they will be the first father-son combination to win the NZRC. It'll also be the first time we've ever seen a Porsche represented in NZRC with Ari Pettigrew, young charger who's coming back to the sport after a wee break, and he's got a custom-built Porsche 911 rally car. It's very cool. I'm very intrigued to see how that goes down in Otago. There's also going to be 10 international drivers there, which is fantastic, which goes along with about 50% growth in entry numbers that they've had this year. And the Classic Rally, the always popular Otago Classic Rally, will see the defending historic champion Dean Buist take on 3 international rally stars, and some names you may be familiar with: Mads Osberg, Pasi Hagström, and Chris Meek. They've all won the Classic previously. So a huge weekend happening down in Otago with lots of headlines, lots of stories, plenty of action. And I'm jealous of my colleagues who are going to be down there. But Taupo is going to be pretty cool too. But how good is Rally Otago going to be this year?
Oh, I think it'll be mega. And by the way, I know what you did rather than playing golf. You went into Nerdville with all those stats, which is fantastic, particularly when you think about the internationals coming back in the Classics, which is really one of the favourite parts of Rally Otago. Speaking of which, stick around in just a moment. A young flyer who's racing against his brother in Rally Otago. This week is the opening round of the Brian Green Property Group Rally Championship of New Zealand, and it's going to one of the great ones. It's Rally Otago. And one of the young bucks that's actually going to attempt to challenge for the titles is Jack Stokes, and he joins us now on the inside line. G'day, Jack. How are you, buddy?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Hey, you're starting off the season reasonably well, one would suggest. Popotanua last week, and you pick up a P3. Was that a sign of things to come?
Hopefully. Yeah, that's definitely the plan. It was my first time in the new Rally 2 car, so just finding my feet a wee bit. It was a little bit of a challenge, but no, I found it pretty comfortable towards the end of the day, and yeah, to come home third, not too far off to win either, so pretty happy with that.
Where is the challenge in the Rally 2 car for you?
I guess coming from the AP4, the car is just a wee bit better at doing everything, so it turns a lot faster, I found. So I was turning into the corners a bit too early quite often. But yeah, just getting used to it, and the car's a bit lighter and stops a bit better. So yeah, just adjusting to that, I guess.
Oh, okay. So anything that goes wrong, this is driver error, right? I can't blame the car on this one. And is this pushing you to be how brave you can on this car?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I don't think I found the ceiling at all. Trying to find that limit, it's getting more comfortable. I think as I say, the ceiling for the car is pretty high. You can see how fast Hayden sort of drives the Rally 2 cars, so that's sort of the target. But yeah, a long way to go.
For those that don't know about a Rally 2 car, as opposed to an AB4, how much more juice is there to actually push yourself?
Well, Rally 2's actually got less power, but obviously it's had, millions of dollars spent on the development of the chassis and suspension and the engine, so the power's probably a little bit more efficient, and it stops, and just the suspension in general, the handling's just insane. Yeah.
So it's the challenge you're actually enjoying right now, yeah?
Oh, I love it. Like, me and my co-driver Hayden, we finished the first run and both just couldn't stop laughing, really, because it was just awesome, eh?
Yeah, but that's what it's all about, right? Isn't that why you got into rally, to have that smile at the end of each stage?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you're not in it for that reason, you probably shouldn't be there. Obviously, there's a competitive aspect, but we all do it for fun, and it's so much fun in these proper cars because you're just going at insane speeds. So yeah, I mean, we always do it for fun and the enjoyment.
So P5 in the championship last year, you win the junior title, but now it's a different story. Main game, right? You're playing with the big boys like your brother Robbie. The question about Robbie after Popotanua, how's his Skoda?
Yeah, so it's actually been a huge effort from quite a number of people, and the car's basically fixed and painted within the week, which is, I think, pretty impressive, given there was a fair bit of just panel damage. Mechanically, the car was fine. But yeah, a big effort from a number of people, and really, I mean, he's super appreciative of that. So it's really cool to see.
How do you approach racing against your brother?
We actually work together quite a lot. Sort of, I've lent on his experience in the past couple of years, and then potentially I bring some sort of different opinions that sometimes he opens his eyes to. In terms of the competitive aspect, it's like it is what it is, sort of thing. So best man wins, sort of thing. But a lot of people try to think that it's a rivalry, but I don't see it that way. So yeah.
Yeah, but you are competitive, right? I mean, you would go out wanting to beat your brother.
Oh, of course, you always want to win, but if it's him beating me, I'm obviously not as upset if it was someone else.
He's a real chance to win the championship this year. No Ben Hunt, Ben's out. So that means nothing because Robbie is a very good peddler. Now that the car's back in working order for round one, how does he feel about his chances?
Yeah, well, he obviously showed his class towards the end of last year, even with what happened in winning Whangarei. He's certainly had the pace for a number of years, and now that he's got the car behind him, I think he's probably his best chance yet. In terms of his, I don't know, approach to the rally, I'm not too sure. He's obviously taken a wee bit of knock in confidence, but I mean, we've spoken about sort of why the accident happened, and yeah, just a few circumstances and probably a wee bit keen on the first run, but yeah.
Talk to me about the Rally Otago and what sort of rally it is and how you're going to approach it.
It's just unreal. Like the roads especially are just insane. Lots of crests, lots of super fast stuff, but also quite a lot of technical stuff too. So yeah, it's a good mixture. Really looking forward to the second stage, Waipori Road. I think the first probably 3 kilometres you don't have to lift or brake, which is pretty unreal.
So you love flat out?
Oh, I love everything, to be fair. But when you're going super fast, it's pretty awesome, and trying to see how much you can really lean on the car.
I think people have great admiration for rally drivers because there's so much going on. You're throwing yourself into corners at ridiculous speeds. Is there a fear factor at any stage through a rally with you?
Sometimes you do think to yourself, like, this is just stupid sort of thing. But I think you've got to turn off the sort of fear side of it sometimes and just really, really trust your preparation and your pace notes to know that you've got what your co-driver's telling you is right, and trust the car too, that you know that it's got the ability to have the grip to go around that corner at that speed, sort of thing.
As a young rally driver, how important are you discovering the relationship between you and your co-driver, your navman?
Oh, it's everything almost. Like, I've been occasionally in a car when you don't trust them, and it's terrible. It's awful. So yeah, having that relationship with Hayden was sort of built over the off season on the progress we made last year, and I think we're building a relationship that's really strong, and I can trust him everywhere, which is a huge part of, you know, trying to go at the speeds we're trying to go at.
Is it as simple as just getting the right information from him? Is that just a small part, albeit important part?
Well, obviously I write my own notes, so the information he's telling me is what I've told him to write down. But then obviously you've got to have the confidence that he knows where he is in the notes. So a lot of that comes down to, like, you can pick the tone sometimes of the co-driver when they might be a wee bit uncertain. Then most drivers can pick up on that. But he's really good. He's been onto it pretty much from the first stage at Otago last year, and I've been really impressed with him.
All right, I want to take you back a year to the Motorsport New Zealand Elite Academy in Dunedin, and you won the whole thing outright, winning the Bruce McLaren Trophy. What did that give you going forward from that time?
It was just a lot of insight, not necessarily into being a faster driver, but just nailing your preparation for the events, leaning on all the resources that the academy has, so the mental skills coach, the nutrition, the strength and conditioning. I think it's been a few big parts, especially just going up to this next level and talking about the sort of expectations that I might expect or encounter, I think has been awesome to talk with people about. And then obviously the camp itself, meeting a bunch of fast young boys and watching them since the camp, watching their successes has been pretty cool too.
Has it made a noticeable difference about how you approach your sport?
Oh, definitely. I think just like I said before, the preparation before the event leads into the performance on the event. So, I mean, I talk about with the fitness coach, we train hard and then compete easy. So you expect the conditions on the event you've trained harder than them, sort of thing.
All right, Jack, it's always a pleasure having a chat to you, mate. Go well this weekend. Wish Robbie the best of luck from all of us here on the Inside Line, and go and beat your brother.
I'll certainly try my best. Thanks, Stephen.
In the real world of motorsport, lots of drivers have dreams of where they want to be, but sometimes that just doesn't happen. And that's the case for Liam Sceats, the winner of the 68th New Zealand Grand Prix, who joins us now on the Inside Line. So the IndyCar dream fell over. Okay, it's as simple as that. How did you reset?
How did I reset? By just looking towards what the next best opportunity is. It was tough pill to swallow. That's been my dream, my mission for the past 15 years of motor racing. And when that came to a close midway through last year, I immediately just turned to, okay, how can I pivot? How can I bounce back and head towards something equally as great?
It's not easy to accept, though, is it?
No, not at all. It's very tough. As I said, it's been my dream, my mission. Scott Dixon, I've fondly looked up to my whole career, and the Indy 500 is such a great spectacle. But I guess, it's a tough decision, but it's the right one. It's a smart one. I've made a strategic pivot to go away from single-seaters and into a new venture in GT cars. So I'm super looking forward to it.
Yeah, GT cars. You can actually make a job out of that one, can't you? Because it's such a wide field.
Yeah, there's lots of opportunity. I mean, all the manufacturer involvement, a WEC World Endurance Championship, the mass amount of teams, and each team there's not just one driver, there's numerous. So yeah, that ecosystem, it's not like Formula One or IndyCar where there's 20 to 25 seats, one driver per car. It opens a world up for me. So I'm really excited.
Okay, you can give the Inside Line a little bit of an exclusive because you've got a drive. It's coming soon. What is it?
In 3 weeks' time, I'll be off to Asia, to Kuala Lumpur, Sepang, for the first round of the Super Trofeo Asia Championship. So that's in the Lamborghini Huracan Evo 2. Not a single-seater. Not a first championship I'll have with a roof over my head. So really excited. It's going to be a huge learning curve. I've spent, I think, half a day in a tin top in my whole career, and that was a Toyota 86 at Hampton Downs. And I'm just, rocking up. We'll have a couple of days of testing before the race. But, I'm really excited to be joining Vincenzo Sospiri Racing, an Italian team, the reigning champions of this championship. I'm paired with a Polish driver who's similar age to me in a pro lineup. So, looking forward to winning races.
And a Kiwi helped you get there?
Yes, Chris Vanendriff was monumental in making this happen. It was following the New Zealand Grand Prix where I did an entry with Toyota New Zealand Castrol Oil. He approached me coming off the back of that and said, hey, what are your racing plans? Because everybody knows I've got no money and I'm trying to fight tooth and bone to see what's next. But he approached me with this opportunity, and thanks to my partners, there's 16 Kiwis now who are in behind me financially. We were able to, I guess, stitch a deal together just over a week ago now. So
that feeling, knowing you're going to go racing again, how good is it?
Oh, it feels so good. I mean, it's been uncertain for over 6 months now. I didn't know what I was doing. I was honestly considering, maybe this is where it's come to an end. It's just too difficult, hard to achieve. But I guess through resilience and just knowing that I believe that I have what it takes, just got to keep powering through. That's what's come from this.
You've got a mind coach, right? You've got a head coach. I'll call him a head coach, so to speak. How much of a difference has that made in this time where you're going, what am I doing? Thinking about it could be all over.
Yeah, he's been instrumental for me, Shane McConaughey. the mental piece the mind game is huge at a time like that where you're facing setback after setback, and at times I was very down and doubting a lot if this was going to happen. So yeah, he's been huge, and not just him, but people like Steve Horn and Paul Radisich and my mum and dad, and as I said, those sponsors of mine, James Kirkpatrick Group, JFC. There's a long list of them that have helped me get through the tough period, but now really looking forward to what period is to come.
Have you thought about the first time you sit on the start line and your Lamborghini Hurricanes go, "Oh, I'm back, baby"?
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a lot of fun. Haven't been to any of the tracks apart from one across Asia, South Korea, China, Malaysia, and then Italy for Monza for the World Finals. So yeah, I feel incredibly privileged, lucky that I have this opportunity, and yeah, I'm going to make the most of it. And as I said, I mean, the focus is to win the championship in our first year, paired with my pro driver, and get part of that Lamborghini ecosystem, and yeah, head towards the end goal of Le Mans and WEC. And
then who knows, right? Who knows? One season, the world could just open up for you.
Yeah, that's the plan, to just focus. Now now that I've got the opportunity lined up, I can focus on driving, not all the off track stuff that's going on, and yeah, I can just focus on my performance as a racing driver, and extracting the best out of myself, working closely with my team, and yeah, and as I said, just going through the ranks in the Lamborghini ecosystem, building great relationships with them, with the Italian team, yeah, to see what will come to me.
The hustle's paid off, mate, and I know everybody in motorsport in New Zealand wish you the best luck. Go get him, bud.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much.
Yeah, look, Stephen, isn't it amazing to see someone like Liam just absolutely hustling out there and creating his own opportunities? Everyone talks about luck in this game, but you really do have to create your own luck. He's not giving up. He's not giving in. And look, he's getting rewards for it.
Creates a good example to the next generation of young motorsport people to know that if it doesn't quite work out, you can still find another avenue if you work hard. And he's a good human being as well. You pumped up for Repco Supercar weekend?
Oh, I can't wait. I'll be there at various points across the weekend, but I'll be following Rally Otago pretty closely as well.
Oh, it is a mega weekend in motorsport in New Zealand. And if you want all the goss, keep it right here on the Inside Line, brought to you by Mount Shop.